What does the phrase wrath to come mean? Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, and all the families of the earth will mourn over him. Thus, Revelation, one of the most mysterious and misunderstood books in the Bible. It was written by John as one of Jesus' disciples, and he wrote Revelation while he was in a cave escaping persecution. The Romans were hunting down any affiliation with Christ and disciples, and they were severely punishing them. I'm talking about beating them to lions, setting them on fire, crucifying them upside down, boiling hot oil poured over them, and they was trying to destroy this group. So John escaped, and he lived the rest of his days in a cave, and he wrote Revelation. Let's take a look at the 7 seals spoken in Revelation. And these seals include the first 4 horsemen, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. But first, let's discuss what the tribulation is. The tribulation is a 7-year period. 3.5 years is called the tribulation period. The next 3.5 years is the Great Tribulation period. During these 7 years, before the coming of Jesus Christ, there will be 21 punishments that God would place on earth for the unrepentant. God could destroy the earth in one swoop, but he has mercy by sending these 21 individualistic plagues to mankind to awaken them so they can repent. So we're going to break down the seals first, the 7 seals, and then there's 7 trumpets, and then there's 7 bowls of wrath, 21 totaling together. Today we will just discuss the 7 seals, but the 7 trumpets, we will do a different podcast for that, along with the 7 bowls of the wrath. Revelation 6:1. Then I saw the Lamb open one of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures say, with a voice like thunder, "Come." I looked, and there was a white horse. The horseman on it had a bow. A crown was given to him, and he went out as a victor to conquer. Alright, so let's take a deeper look into this first seal here. First, we see that he rides in on a white horse, and he has a bow, and a crown was given to him to conquer. This first seal would promise false peace and security. Many know this first horseman as the Antichrist. The Antichrist is anti-Messiah. Christ means Messiah, so he's anti-Messiah. He's embodied by the devil himself, the son of Satan, Lucifer, and he's used to go to the nations. He will be such a great man, people will want to worship him. He will solve world hunger. He will create a unified one world religion, a unified governmental system around the world. There will be only one type of income. It will not be the US dollar. It will be it could be big currency, we don't know yet, but there will be one world currency. There will be one religion, and this religion is the Antichrist religion, or anti-Messiah religion. Now, Revelation 6 verse 3 we dive into the second seal. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come." Then another horse went out, a fiery red one, and its horseman was empowered to take peace from the earth, so that the people would slaughter one another, and a large sword was given to him. So the second horse, this fiery red horse, is the horse of war. Peace will be taken from the earth. And throughout the centuries, this type of wrath or this type of war that this second horseman or second seal would bring would be nothing like anything we've ever seen. World War II, the Gulf War, all the wars in the past will fail in comparison. Let's talk about the third seal. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come." And I looked, and there was a black horse. The horseman on it had a balance scale in his hand. Then I heard something like a voice among the four living creatures say, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, but do not harm the olive oil and the wine." Now notice when this black horse, the black horse has scales in his hands. This is a symbol of famine and poverty that results in warfare comes into view. So the second horse brings war. The first one, the white horse, is the false Messiah, the Antichrist. And then we go to the second horse, who brings war and takes peace completely from the earth. And now we're on the third horseman, a black horse, who's bringing extreme poverty and famine to the whole world. This type of famine will be like nothing we've ever encountered or seen. This will be such a great famine that food, a loaf of bread, will cost about $20, $30. Everything that we've seen now will be like nothing what the third horse brings into light. Revelation 6, verse 7. The fourth seal. When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come." And I looked, and there was a pale green horse. The horseman on it was named Death, and Hades was following after him. Authority was given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill by sword, by famine, by plague, and by the wild animals of the earth. So now this fourth horseman, this pale horseman, this death horseman, is going to bring greater diseases and pestilences than we've ever seen. COVID-19 and 2019 will fail in comparison to the type of plague this horseman will bring. This pale horse will destroy a quarter of the earth through the sickness, the influenza flus before then, the bubonic plagues, and of course the population was a lot, less back then. But this fourth horseman is going to bring absolute destruction to the population due to the sickness and pestilences it carries. Revelation 6, verse 9. The fifth seal. When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those slaughtered because of God's word and the testimony they had. They cried out with a loud voice, "O Lord, holy and true, how long until you judge and avenge our blood from those who live on the earth. So a white robe was given to each of them, and they were told to rest a little while longer, until the number of their fellow slaves and their brothers who were going to be killed just as they have been would be completed. So the fifth seal is the martyrs of the saints of God. Now this type of martyrdom is not to those who rejected the mark of the beast. That mark of the beast does not come yet. Believe it or not, the mark of the beast is not here yet. And yet this type of fifth seal martyrism is going to kill anyone who follows Jesus Christ, anyone who is against the New World Order system. We're on the sixth seal. Then I saw him open the sixth seal. A violent earthquake occurred. The sun turned to black, like sackcloth, made of goat hair. The entire moon became like blood. The stars of heaven fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its unripe figs when shaken by a high wind. Okay, that's very poetic there. So let's break down the sixth seal, all right? It's a huge, massive earthquake that's going to rock the entirety of the whole world. The moon will turn to blood red. The stars of heaven fell to the earth as a fig tree, and its unripe figs were shaken by a high wind. Verse 14. The sky separated like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved from its place. Then the kings of the earth, the nobles, the military commanders, the rich, the powerful, and every slave and free person hid in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains. And they said to the mountains, verse 16, and they said to the mountains and to the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of the one seated on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, because the great day of their wrath has come, and who is able to stand? Now Revelation 7 is a great chapter. It talks about the sealed ones, the 144,000, but we're not going to dive into that. We're going to skip chapter 7 today and go into chapter 8 to discuss the seventh and final seal. Revelation chapter 8, the seventh seal. When he opened the seventh seal, there was a silence in heaven for about a half an hour. And then I saw the seven angels who stand in the presence of God. 7 trumpets were given to them. Another angel with a gold incense burner came and stood at the altar. He was given a large amount of incense to offer with the prayers of all the saints on the gold altar in front of the throne. The smoke of the incense with the prayers of the saints went up in the presence of God from the angel's hand. The angel took the incense burner, filled it with fire from the altar, and hurled it to the earth. There were thunders, rumblings, lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets appeared to blow them. All right, let's do a quick recap of what we covered. The first seal, the first horseman, will bring false peace and security, the Antichrist. The second seal will bring war and bloodshed like the world has never seen, the second horseman. The third seal, the third horseman, will be famine and poverty. The cost of food will be skyrocketed. your wages wouldn't be able to even buy steak or chicken or bread because of how high the cost of food will be. The fourth seal, the fourth horseman, death and pandemics and plagues and pestilences. The fifth seal, the martyrs, the saints who were persecuted. The sixth seal, worldwide catastrophes, earthquakes, massive earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, the moon turning red, the sun being blackened, stars falling from the sky like earth, but in massive quantities all over the earth. And then the seventh seal. This is where the first trumpet comes to play. It's just before the seven trumpets. It's where the angel burns the incense of prayers and offers it up to God. And God smites the earth with this huge type of catastrophic power to inflict on the earth. And that's just the first seven seals, folks. Thank you and good night.